good intro into this video.
Now, buddy, yes, welcome back to the channel. And well, what can I say? The weather is absolute trash right now here at Frankfurt Airport in Germany land. I mean, take a look at the weather reports from my iPhone. While this isn't actually the proper METAR data from the airport, we still can see an incredible amount of wind. Up to 60 kilometers an hour of gust wind, which is of course always a reason to go to the airport and take a look at some landings and see some go-rounds as well. Yes, I tried that in October of last year, and it was really cool seeing planes crab their landings into a crosswind just like they should. But everybody, today the situation will be a little bit different because we have winds blowing pretty much directly from the west into the east, which means that we've got pretty much all headwind. Let's take a look at how that affects those big airliners. All right, and let's maybe start big. Here we've got an A330 in the sky coming in for this runway 25 right. Now you can see this plane is not all too shaky simply because of this wind being so gusty and so fluctuating that it's kind of like a game of luck whether you hit with a lot of wind or not on your landing. This doesn't look too bad just yet. What does look bad is my camera. Genuinely, very shaky because of the wind. In fact, I'm talking to you in voiceover because the audio is just simply unusable in these kind of conditions. Coming in at A330 from Lufthansa, coming in from Dusseldorf. But let's talk about some interesting things. First of all, this Airbus is coming from Dusseldorf, like a 1 hour flight. There's a very obvious sign of high headwind here on the flight radar. This airplane is moving at 106 knots. It is practically standstill. Very slow airplanes. Let me take a look at that landing and hope that the pilot doesn't get struck with too much wind.
Alright, that was absolutely beautiful. No worries at all about having a little headwind.
Oh, that was actually very beautiful. I like to see that. I mean, yes, sure, a little bit of a late landing, but that doesn't really matter because you could just practically land at the end of the runway because you're moving so slow. That was so beautiful. But let's maybe take a look at a smaller airplane. We've got this lot ERJ-190 coming in from Warsaw, little regional jet. That one might be affected a little bit more. Hold on, guy. Wind, you are missing the point of this video. We were supposed to see hard landings and fails and go around and crashes. No, seriously, this was beautiful. I mean, after all, it's just headwind. Definitely not too bad at all. As you can see here, this is probably the most beautiful, smooth ERJ-190 flare I've ever seen. Very beautifully done by the crew. But now we're going to take a look at a landing that didn't go too well. Oh, and here you see an A320 coming in for landing here on runway 25 right. And let me tell you, it will not win this Russian roulette of weather, of wind. Take a close look.
Oh, that's a go around. Oh, that's a big go around there. Oh, yeah, very interesting.
Yes, everybody, the good old gust lottery indeed. You can see that wind that pushes right here on the flare, making the airplane lift up and float and not wanting to come down. A perfect decision by the crew to abort that landing and go around. A perfect example of listen to your airplane and what it's saying. The airplane didn't feel like landing, and so we didn't. And let me tell you, this wasn't at all the only go around that happened today. Well, let me go ahead and move on to something bigger. 777.
Well, guess what? Now there's a 777 coming in for landing. This one's very interesting.
You know, the rule of cargo is always
Well, as it turns out, yes, maybe a strong headwind isn't even that bad for landing smoothness. That was beautiful. Obviously, you have less velocity difference between ground and plane because you're so slow. And there, that was beautiful.
All right, well, what does that look like? CRJ.
Well, let's hope that this little CRJ 900, the Cryber regional jet, has a bit of better luck today.
beautiful.
Oh, well, once again, most beautiful CRJ landing ever. Although you can even see here a little gust here, a little push was pushing the right main landing gear up. Very interesting.
I was right in front of the touchdown zone. That was a fly. All right, now another landing in A321. Beautiful new A321.
Well, here you can see a little bit of shakiness. Take a look at that. Let's see a beautiful landing.
Saying hello. Oh, bit of a bounce as well there. Very interesting landing.
All right, relatively hard landing compared to the other landings today. Very nicely done putting the plane down on the runway. But still, you can see that right main landing gear also pop up a little bit. Once again, showing the gust. But let's maybe go ahead and move on to a bigger plane. This is a 777 from United Airlines. I have no idea what I'm saying here. Probably something yapping about that United 777. I don't know. But come on, here we are on final approach. We can see some wing flicks as well. Very interesting. But let's come on. Let's maybe do a smooth landing here. And I'm about to start to cry. That was so immensely beautiful right here. A little bit of like a 777 moment classic where the plane kind of tiptoes around a little bit before it decides to land. Beautiful look. Definitely very well done by the crew as well. Yeah, these big planes land beautifully in these winds.
It's so gusty and can differentiate steerings.
And now the following landing is a little bit more interesting. This is an A319 from Lufthansa, but definitely not on a very usual flight. It's a scheduled flight from Frankfurt to Krakow in Poland. But according to flight radar, the plane diverted pretty much right before reaching the destination airport. Yes, after doing a very small holding pattern situation, the plane just directly returned. Very interesting one, and I do wonder why there was no airport closure of the destination airport. I guess the other situation could have been a medical emergency on board, and that's why the plane diverted. But I don't quite believe that, because it would be very logical to just land at Krakow and then have the medical emergency sorted. Maybe it's due to technical difficulties. I don't really know. The very plane that right now here is landing and diverting flew only 3 days later as well to Bologna in Italy. Oh, this is a divert. This is not an emergency landing or anything. The squawk wasn't 7700 or anything. Nothing too special. But I guess, this is a 26-year-old airplane. Maybe something was wrong with it. Now, let's maybe take a look at a beautiful landing done by the crew after hours of flying around for nothing, which must be very frustrating. Come on, let's do a beautiful landing, yo. Alright, this one was relatively hard compared to some beautiful landings we've seen today. But very nice, very safe, very much on touchdown zone, very German landing. I like it.
Now A340 300.
Yes, don't we love that sight of an A340 coming in for a landing here on the horizon? Beautiful. Now, as you can see, the camera quality kind of sucks because my main camera ran out of battery, so we have to use my phone here. So come on, let's maybe do it beautiful. Oh yes, also very, very beautiful. Almost looks like slow motion here. Very nicely done with these huge planes landing against the wind, looking so slowly. Beautiful. So buddy, what did we learn today? Headwind is the best kind of wind you could have. Very nice companion for making butter landings. But you can run into some issues if you have some gusts that very irregularly come and hit your airplane and perhaps don't let it land. And so that's been like 8 minutes of yapping about planes by Swiss01. Thank you so much for watching. I love you, and I'll see you guys tomorrow as always. Good night. And a special thanks goes out to my members, my supporters. Gunskiller, R27, James Deram, That Dude, Anime Gods of Gaming, Derek, Insider Plane, Nishijitsu Fanner, Professional Jamal, Ryland Williams, and New the York. You've got beautiful names.